So, Assalamu alaikum. I've just started a new link. I hope it's better, inshallah. Sometimes there is technical difficulties and things, and it does take our time. But nevertheless, we'll do whatever we can, inshallah, and continue with that. And we have to bear patience sometimes. Is the newer link working better? Please let me know in the chat again. It works for now. That's fine. Inshallah. I hope it doesn't lag the voice. If it does, then do tell me as we go along. Okay. So, what are non-objectives? I hope everyone's tuned in. Sharia. Non-objectives are those experiences and states that don't necessarily lead us to the closeness of Allah. Okay, Sharia and Arman, inshallah, that's fine. So, those kind of things are, or feelings or experiences which people start experiencing, but don't necessarily take us to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me give you an example. I'll just give you an example. Imagine somebody starts a school, high school, they're in year 7, they've newly come in, you're meeting a few people, you're a bit shy and make new friends, and you kind of meet them at break time, lunchtime for the first week. And you know that you, over the year, you have to kind of work well and somehow please the teacher, or at least do the work so that they're pleased from you for the work. And if you somehow please the head teacher, and then you're in a good situation. So let me just say that the overall objective is to please the head teacher, right? Just for example's sake. Now, starts during the year feeling very, very joy and ecstatic and very, very hyper, and sometimes feeling of that is as though they're flying in the clouds comes in, and they're sitting in the class, they're having a lesson, but they start feeling of different and sometimes sad, sometimes very emotional. They start crying in the classroom, and everybody's like, what's happened to him? Now, if throughout the year he doesn't work well, or end of year he gets bad grade, and head teacher calls him for a interview at the office, but then he says, well, I had very wonderful feelings. I had throughout the year, I was feeling very good about class, and I enjoyed my time here, and it was wonderful feelings though. But he will be told that that was not the objective. The aim wasn't these things. That was not the aim. If during your learning, Faizan, thank you. If during your learning you feel good and well, alhamdulillah, there's no harm. That's a nice thing. If you're not, then you still have to work a way around it, and you have to try and build a good feeling. So the feeling was never the purpose. Yep, it's clearly understood. So that's like you can say a state. Yeah, it wasn't something permanent. It was just states. And you know, our heart has 2,000 states it goes through every day. Some we know, some we don't know that we're going through every second. Our mind is making 9,000 decisions every hour. And our heart goes through 2,000 states every day, different states. So, and it can be turned, coming back and forth, different one turning. Sometimes, commonly we know sad, commonly we know feeling happy, feeling not happy, unhappy. So these are different states. Yep, they're not permanent. If they were permanent, that's called a station. Okay, you're in a station, you're staying there. But this is state. State means it comes and goes. So some kind of states, some kind of experiences that don't necessarily show that they're taking you closer to Allah, and they're not even the objectives of the path of tazkiyah, or the path of deen, the path of righteousness, the path of sharia sunnah. They don't need to be achieved, or they shouldn't be aimed for. Those kind of states and spiritual experiences, because it's a spiritual path, it's something we can't see with our eyes, so it needs to be clearly understood and explained before knowing about tazkiyah. So that's what this lesson is for. Okay, very, very important. Listen attentively, everyone who's I hope you have pens and paper or something in front of you where you can make note, and then inshallah write it in our diaries and books when we get into class tomorrow. I will mention more on that. States and spiritual experiences which are not within the choice of a person. Sometimes it's not even in your choice, and if the person is going to be feeling this kind of a spiritual experience, but they take it as an objective, they're going to become really confused and really, really misguided or lost, because for example, seeing a good dream or a vision. A vision is like a dream, but when you're not sleeping, you're awake. It's called kashf in Arabic. We've gone through that. This should not be sought after, nor should there be a longing for it. So you should not be desperate. Oh, I want to pray more. I want to read more Quran or read more Durood Sharif. I want to become pious. Why? Because I want to have a good dream. Or I want to have a vision. I want to see things unseen and things like that. This is not the objective. It's a non-objective. Tell us, these are the things you need to know. Now we're going to continue by mentioning 20 non-objectives. Okay, 20 non-objectives. You need to write them. You can write number 1 even in your own words. Okay, you can write them in your own words. So put like a title down or a heading of non-objectives. Yep, those things, non-objectives. And I'm going to read them and just explain them. Listen as you go along, write them down in your own words, but right after you've understood, right after I've explained each point, okay, not before. And I'll finish these 20. Inshallah, we'll close this session. And it's also mentioning the true objectives at the end, so we'll go through that as well, summary, and then inshallah next lesson through this, the actual objectives in more detail. But today we're going to tips. Okay. Go on to see good dreams. We've already talked about that. It's not your choice even. It can happen. You can be pious, and because of your piety, dream where you're having good situations. But to become pious is in your choice, meaning doing the actions. But to see the dream is not in your choice because you're sleeping. You're unconscious. Okay. What are you doing when you're awake? When you're unconscious? That's what's going to be questioned. You're not going to be questioned about. You're not going to be questioned about when you're going to be questioned you're doing when you are conscious. So to see good dreams is not the objectives. I will speak slowly, breaking down. Hopefully it helps the message come clearer, even if there is some lag. Number 2, to see visions and occurrences of miracles. These are 2 separate, but they are put in one category. Like you know, some saintly people, prophets of course, have miracles. Their miracles are called mu'jizat. Pious people, if they're saintly, saints, etc., they can be given gifts by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gifted miracles called karamat. But for the karamat to happen, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Just like Prophet Isa raised people, dead people alive, Prophet Jesus, for example, is doing through them though. Yes, so people on Prophet and accept the message. But we cannot try to become pious so that we can get some kind of superpowers. That's not the right objective. It's a wrong objective, and it's not supposed to be objective. And if you, for example, what about the person who's trying to become pious for 10 years and he's not getting any miracle? What's he gonna? He's gonna become fed up. Is he gonna leave now? Is he gonna leave his pious efforts and just say, "Oh, I'm fed up because I'm not getting any miracle"? No, he will do that if he had made it an objective. If he had made it an objective, we will tell him that it's not the correct objective. It's the wrong objective. The objective. So it's very important to get the right understanding of this first. Number 3. Number 3 is divine inspiration. Divine inspiration, ilham, or states. Ilham, or when a person is beginning to get a lot of good messages in the heart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, you could be in a maths paper having a test, and he might not remember answers, he might not have learned very well, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is putting all of the answers in his heart secretly, like spiritually he's getting the answers. So this like kind of a help, it can happen, but this kind of a help is not the objective. Okay? It's not the objective. So I understand the mic is lagging and there's a delay in the speech, but inshallah listen and you will, at least you will hear the message, even if it's coming a little bit slow. I can also hear because I've got it on the played in the background. So I hope you've understood what ilham means, divine inspiration. To get like prophets got messages of the Quran and the previous religious scriptures. We can't get books. We're not going to get religious revelation from Allah, but we can get inspiration. Like, I'm inspired to do this. So that's not the objective of following the righteous path. If it happens, good and well. There's no harm. But if it's not happening, it doesn't mean you're wrong. You can still be pious. Maybe you're doing everything right. Maybe you're doing everything good. Maybe you're a good person. Okay? But that doesn't mean if you're not getting it, you're on the wrong path. Number 4, to see lights and illuminations whilst meditating or performing your zikr and doing the muraqabah. So there was one person, he said, oh, since I've started my zikr and muraqabah, every time I do zikr, I can see lights. And it started happening for 1-2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, it stopped happening and I stopped doing my zikr. So why did he stop doing his zikr, performing his good deeds? Because he misunderstood the objective. He didn't understand the real reason and the point. The real purpose was something else. It was to develop good qualities in you. Yeah, to purify you, to do discipline, etc., to please Allah. But he thought it was to see colors and lights, and he felt good while seeing lights and colors. But this was not an objective. So he took a non-objective into account. So that's why we need to be clear. Number 5 is having permission to blow for the sake of curing and healing through supplication and recitation of Quran, to perform seemingly supernatural arts and tricks, and have permission to give charms, ta'weez. So somebody says, I'm becoming pious, or I've started this path, spiritual way, because I want to get power to ta'weez, or I want to get powers so I could like become a magician. I want to be able to do tricks. I want to read Quran and cure people and blow on them, and people say heal me and I can heal them. I want to be a healer. That's not an objective. That's a wrong objective. That should not be the purpose. If that happens, if Allah teaches you and somehow you get power and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides you, and then you learn from someone how to do that, good and well. If you're doing it according to Quran and Hadith, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing dodgy. But then there's a lot of dodgy people who have dodgy ta'weez and things and stuff. Or they're not even pious. They are actually following a shaitanic lifestyle, and they are doing this stuff, but they are tricking people. They're saying we're going to teach you on the Quranic way, not on the right path. But this isn't even objective. It doesn't show that you're pious. It doesn't make you pious. None of these things make you pious. If you have all of them, 5 of them, it doesn't mean you're pious at all. If somebody is opposing Sunnat, if somebody is opposing the Quranic law, Sharia, but he is performing all of these 5s, I don't consider him pious. He should not be considered pious at all. You should not even have a doubt in your mind. Remember, the Dajjal will come and he will be able to do these things. He will say rain, it will rain. He will say dead person come alive. Like, what claim will he make at the end? Although Allah planned this and Allah has warned us that this is going to come because Allah gave him that power. It's an evil power and it's a fake power. It's not special. It's not a miracle. It's something called istidraj, which means a devil power. And it's just to delude people. But what claim will he make at the end? He will say, I am God. Look, I was able to bring a person to life. I can kill people as well. I give death. I give life. I give death. Astaghfirullah. People believe him, start worshipping him. Does he mean he's pious now? No. Anybody who's even opposing one sunnah, opposing one sharia, he's not pious. There was a group of people, they had a pious sheikh. They had a teacher who was a wali. He was a pious person. He was actually following sunnah sharia. One of his students said, oh, teacher, I've heard that such and such a sheikh is coming to our town. Another person is coming to our city. Yeah, he thinks that he's God. Exactly. The person thought, think he's God. So a bunch of students heard that, oh, another sheikh is coming to our city, such and such imam, such and sheikh, our town, our area. And they asked their teacher, they asked their sheikh, they said, Sheikh, can we go and visit him? That sheikh was a true wali. He didn't stop him. He didn't say, no, stay here. Why are you going to somewhere? No, he said, okay, if the pious people go, benefit. Try and benefit from them. But it might not be the way you think. Anyway, they went to see him, that other sheikh. They went to the mosque where he came, where he announcement was made that he was there with his followers. When they saw him coming outside the masjid, he stepped out with the wrong foot. To step in them with the right foot, step out with the left. He stepped out with the wrong, and he put his slippers down and he put the wrong foot inside the slipper. Like it's sunnah to put the right foot in first and then the left. He put the left foot in first and then the right and walked out and spat on the side as well. So when they saw this from far away, they didn't even go to the person, they walked away. And those students, because they were trained up by a proper sheikh, they straight away walked away. And they said, if this person is not even able to follow the sunnah of our Prophet ﷺ in putting on shoes and walking in and out the masjid, how can he be a great friend of Allah, wali of Allah? So this was a lesson for them. And they went back and told their sheikh, and the sheikh said, it's not always the way you think. What you need more than other than following Sunnah Sharia, and that because their true teacher had that with them. They were already teaching them. He was already teaching them Sunnah and Sharia, and he was a true sheikh. So how can you even get to know if somebody is a true sheikh or not? You might have heard, you might see on TV, you might hear somewhere here and there. Oh, there is this sheikh, there is that sheikh, there is this pious person, there is that Peer Sahib, this Peer, this different things like this, different names. They all mean the same thing. This imam, that imam. All you need to do is, first of all, don't go start checking the person, because you should not have that kind of intention. But if the person is claiming to be followed and you are trying to find someone that you can follow them so you can benefit and save yourself and benefit your akhirah and earn Jannah and please Allah, all you need to do is check two things. Is he committing major and minor sins? If yes, he's not worthy to be followed. If no, alhamdulillah, this person is pious. They're not going against the Sharia, Allah's law. That's correct. Second thing, is his lifestyle, morning and evening, is it closest to Sunnat, to Prophet's ways of compassion and mercy and dealing best with the creation and themselves? If yes, alhamdulillah, he's on the right track. If no, then you know that he's not worthy to be followed. However, it doesn't mean that pious people don't commit sins at all. They might commit minor sins, but they ask forgiveness straight away. So if they are like that, they might not be alim, they might not be scholar, but they might be pious, so they can be followed. However, ask them also, do they have a path how they can take you to piety? If they don't have a path, if they can't show you a way, like a way of purification, a way of tazkiyah, a way of stopping from sins, then what are they going to teach you? They might just tell you general things like do some zikr, read Durood Sharif. Anyone can do that. They already know that. So to find a sheikh or to follow a spiritual path, but to become purified, to do tazkiyah, you need to have a path, you need to have a way, you need to have a course. How can I actually stop sins and become pious? I want to become pious. Okay, so these things won't teach you. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I hope you have seen it, or you're taking a snapshot on your phone or whatever. I hope you have noted down in note form. These 5 will not prove you are pious. They will not make you pious, even if you can do them, all of them. You can see light, you can cure people, you are getting inspiration, you are seeing things, you are having good dreams. It doesn't mean you're pious at all. However, if the person is following Sunnah, is following Sharia, if they are following a proper guided path of spiritual path and they're following Deen, then they are doing any of these 5, alhamdulillah, there's no harm. If they're not committing major sin, but they're doing these 5, that could be a true gift from Allah. That could be the real thing. But it's not the objective still. They never had it as an objective. It's just a side thing. Number 6, to control jinns and to perform exorcism. You might know what that is. Some nasty things you watched. But these things are real. It can happen. Okay. To control jinns and jinnat and the other creation that are living with us, the things that we can't see, it's not an objective. It was never objective. If someone can do it, good for them. If it's not good for them, they're being harmed, then bad for them. We can't say good for them. It might be bad for them. But if they're following Sunnah and Sharia, then fair enough. You might be doing it to help people, to save people from exorcism and bad things, jinns. But if they're not following Sunnah Sharia, like the fake, I was telling you about fake beer, people who are doing fake taweez, fake jinn stuff, they're tricking people. They're not even pious, but they're tricking people with this. And they're claiming that they're pious, but they're not pious. Excuse me. So they are focusing on a non-objective. Okay, let's carry on because time is going ahead. Number 7, increase in wealth or business. Okay, so one person says, I've been starting to do zikr and muraqabah and trying to follow Allah and doing my namaz now, and roza and hajj. But I'm not becoming more, my wealth is going a bit same. Excuse me. My business is not increasing. I'm not becoming richer. Well, who said you're on a path of piety? It's got nothing to do with your wealth and finance. Yes, it has got a lot to do with it because you can get barakah in there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you blessings in it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can protect you from harm. And you have a 20 pounds, it can become blessed. Barakah doesn't mean getting more. Some people misunderstood. If you have 20 pounds, you can go with that 20 pounds to a cash and carry, for example. You can buy so many things. You can come home, still have some spending money for the next weekend. And you can even go outside with your family the next day. And you can even buy a gift for someone from one £20 note. That's called barakah. It's blessing. You got more done from that amount. It's blessed, okay? But sometimes somebody might have £40, £50 note. But they might just waste it on one thing and it might even break the next day. That's not blessing. That's not blessed. It's not barakah. So barakah doesn't mean having more or less. Barakah means even if you have less or even if you have more, it becomes used wisely. Okay? So number 7, to increase wealth or business is not an objective. Number 8, to be cured from physical and mental illness. Yeah, I might, I've got a back pain, or I've got like headaches and stuff. I need to be cured. I'm becoming pious now. I should be helped out. It's not necessary. If you are cured, good and well, alhamdulillah. You might have a good doctor, you might have good medicine. That doesn't mean, okay, if you're not becoming cured, I should stop my zikr and muraqabah, I should stop my righteous deeds. No, that's not the objective. The objective was to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these things can happen on the way. These things might happen. Most likely they do happen on the way. Yeah, you might become cured. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cures you and stuff. But somebody should not see it as an objective, because every time they don't get cured, they might think, oh, I'll quit now. No. Number 9, claiming to be able to predict the future and to be able to read minds. Parrot reading, palm reading, all these things. I can read your mind. I know what's going to happen in your future. No one can tell you these things. They're not supposed to tell you these things. Even if Allah inspires them, they're not supposed to. But what can happen is people can really become deluded and confused and misguided, and they can really trick people because of this. So this is not an objective. It's a wrong objective, actually. Number 10, to have success in other matters and worldly affairs, like family and good, having a good life. That's nice. It's really good to have a lot. You should aim for that. But it doesn't mean if something's going wrong, like somebody might have a family problem. Somebody might have anything like a divorce, or somebody might have a child that might die. People do die young. Might have a loss, might have a big accident. Does that mean they're doing something wrong in their zikr and muraqabah? No. Why should they stop their prayers? In fact, you know very well, our deen, our sharia, it allows you to even pray sitting down or paralyzed even. So that's got nothing to do with the path. That's a different situation to do with your daily life and things. Yes, it's everything to do with your life and religion. Religion is a whole life. But it doesn't mean you should quit now because it's not the right. If you do, it means you had the wrong objective in mind. Is everybody following? Can I just have a yes or no? I want to hear if you are still hearing and following. We're on number 11. Want some of your input. Any question up to now? If no question, just type no question. Or if there is a question, then please type it in. I'm waiting to see you type. Yes, Arman that's fine. I want to hear the rest. See that you're with me, Faizan. Yes, Sharial. And that will be also, I believe, your brother. You have no question. That's okay. Thank you, Sharial. No question. Number 11. Let's just move a bit faster then, okay? Because you're listening, that's fine. Number 11. I'm going to read. Follow, please. To achieve such a state where one will automatically start doing good and will abandon this a situation. Okay, Sharial, no question. That's fine. A state. Remember we talked about states before. That a state, you can come into a state where you're experiencing good or bad. So there is a state called qabs and a state called expansion. But I'm not going to explain that at the minute. Just understand what I'm saying right now. I don't have to explain the word right now because it's going to elaborate. There is a state when a person is really, really feeling good. They just want to perform everything good. They want to do everything on time. They want to pray all the namaz. They want to fast extra even after Ramadan. They want to go on Hajj and Umrah. They want to just pick the tasbih up. They want to read Quran. They want to help people. They want to do charity work. They want to, just go outside in the community and do a lot of work. And just, they don't care. They feel like a saint. Okay? What's going on? That's number 11. That state is temporary. It can come, it can go as well. You can feel the opposite. What are you going to do then? Are you going to stop? So it's not the objective. If it comes, alhamdulillah, praise Allah, but it's not maqsad. Okay, it's not the purpose. To achieve number 12, to achieve such a state for no one to have any evil thought whispers. If a person begins to feel, oh, I should have no thought. No. Remember, any evil thoughts, bad thoughts that come in your mind, you are not sinful. A person is only sinful when you go and carry it out and you act upon it by your body. If the nafs puts a thought in your mind, for example, oh, go and drink this haram, go and do this bad thing. Okay, listen to some. So you should just think, no, why should I? Regardless what my thought is, I don't have to. I don't have to follow my feeling or thought. Instead, you should start thinking about something else. Start thinking about, for example, bread. Just start thinking about bread or about anything halal, even if it's worldly, like your PlayStation game. Just start thinking about anything like something halal, like a book, a school book. Just think about it and you divert your attention. So what's happening? You are not falling in a trap of your sinful thoughts. But you're not sinful for that anyway, okay? Until you go and carry it out. But this person, he wants that no thought comes in my mind. Why should an evil thought come in my mind for? No, I don't want any thoughts. And if a thought comes in, oh, I'm evil, I'm wrong, I'm not even going to do my zikr muraqab anymore. Every time I do my good deeds, I get bad thoughts. Well, shaitan's job is supposed to put bad thoughts in your mind. If someone's trying to become pious, he's going to try and attack and block him more bad thoughts. So that doesn't mean you're bad. And it doesn't mean you should have an objective as well that, oh, I know thoughts. So that would be a wrong objective, okay? So that's part of the non-objectives as well. Let's move on. Number 13, increasing in offspring. I should have more children. It's not an objective. Meaning, it doesn't mean that you're pious at all. Number 14, someone else will take responsibility on the day of judgment. I don't have to follow good path. I can still do sins. I can live a bad life to follow Sharia and the laws. I'll just follow. I don't have to follow Islam. Somebody will be forgiven on the day of judgment. Don't worry. Inshallah. Somebody will take me to heaven. Inshallah, in my family, I have many people who are Hafiz. I know my friends are Hafiz. I'll make my friends Hafiz and they'll save me on the day of judgment. That's a wrong objective. It doesn't mean you're saved at all. And it doesn't mean you're pious or it's not the right objective. That's wrong as well. Number 15, hoping to reach a station where no one is even inclined at least towards any sin. Similar, like I talked before, getting thoughts about sin. Here, when a person doesn't want to do sin at all. So this person might be being pious for 10, 15 years. And then he said, oh, I feel like doing bad now. Oh, I'm so evil. Why did I even do all of this effort? I'm wasted. This person is going to fail. He's going to stop. He's fallen in the trap of shaitan. Shaitan was trying after 10 and 15 years to try and trick him, to make him feel that he's a bad guy, but he's not a baddie. He's not a bad guy. Just feeling bad or thinking about feeling bad is not bad. You're not doing any sin yet. You're sinful. It's written down only when the person goes and does it. Sharial's question about wanting to have more, no problem. There's no harm in wanting to have more children. But that doesn't mean he's pious if he is having more children. Somebody has 15, 20 kids. Does that mean he's pious? No. It doesn't make him pious just because you have more, or if you have less. Look at the Alhamdulillah, look at our great lesson we have. Look at our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Hazrat Qasim, Hazrat Abdullah, they passed away. Some pious people don't have any children. It might happen that they're not able to get children for a medical reason, or it might happen that they're just not married, or they can still be pious. There might be a saint, there might be a big pious person in their time. It can happen. I'm just saying it's a possibility. But just because of having more children or not having less children, it doesn't show your piety. It doesn't mean you're pious. It doesn't mean you're less pious. All of these things, none of these things prove that you're pious, or it doesn't prove your piety. That's what we're learning today, okay? I hope you've understood. All of these things is showing us that none of these things prove your piety. What proves your piety is something else coming up later. I think maybe in next lesson. I'm going to touch upon it. This what proves your piety. Believing in the correctly, in Allah, His angels, His messengers, His books, worshipping correctly, doing the prayers, the fasting, the Hajj, Roza. Transaction and dealing is halal. You're not doing business wrongly. Social life is good. Normal day-to-day activities, friends, family, dressing, eating, sleeping, drinking is good. You're doing according to Sunnah. Character, you're trying to attain purification. You're doing the Tazkiyah course. You're trying to inwardly develop good qualities like the Holy Prophet, such as patience and sabr, sincerity, gratitude, remembrance. We'll learn that more in detail, inshallah. These are the good qualities. Remember these names: patience, sabr, in sincerity, ikhlas, shukr, remembrance, reliance upon Allah, abstinence, abstaining from bad, sunnah, sharia. They are the correct objectives. These are the wrong objectives: to have good dreams, visions, reading minds, flying in the air. I want to fly in the air. I want to prove I'm a saint or something. That's not even proof of saint. Sometimes a saint can fly in the air. Yes, there are people who do, and they are pious as well. But it doesn't mean that they're pious if they're not following Sunnah Sharia and they're doing all of these things. They're not pious. The actual piety is these things. Okay. I hope you've understood. Let's touch upon the last few points, and then let's close it for question time. Number 17, to attain. Sorry, number 16. Activation of my latifa bodies. This is an experience in which some people feel a pulse beat in different areas of chest, similar to the heartbeat but more stronger. Latifa is it's also called chakra. Hindus do this thing. They do meditation, yoga, chakra, and it's called latifa in Arabic. And non-Muslims do it as well in the Western world. They just call it spiritual center. I'm not going to go into detail, but it's basically heartbeats. It doesn't mean there are some people you might find on the internet. There are crazy videos out there because they've edited it and they've made them look really bad. They might not be that bad, but they might be doing something which is not the objective. They're sitting down and they're doing qalbi zikr where their heart starts shaking. Their heart starts shaking or the body starts shaking. Does that prove anything that they're pious? It does not, unfortunately. It doesn't mean that if they're sinning in their public life. What if they know? So the actual piety is the sunnah, is the sharia. Not able to give the proving you can fly, be trying to cure people. I've got a lot of kids. I've got a big family, or I've got a lot of money, wealth. It doesn't mean you're pious. Okay, it's not the objective. So don't aim for the objective. Take it out of your mind. Take these. Ask Allah to take things. If they happen, if they come in our life, alhamdulillah, and we're also trying to become pious, that means it's from Allah. You should do shukr, thank Him, ask Allah to help you use it in the correct way. If you're able to help people. The internet has just lagged and it stopped. Screen has stopped. I'll just speak a bit slowly. Okay. Number 17, to attain respect in the eyes of people. Everybody in the community or an imam, everybody respects him. People look at him, shake his hand. Some come up to them, they kiss their hand for respect. So if I start trying to become pious and I say in my heart, and I have the wrong intention, wrong niyat, that, oh, I want to become pious so people respect me. They come up to me and respect me and things like this. So I want people to respect me. So what happens? That might not even happen. People might not respect you. They might actually hate you. Or if people start respecting you, but then later you lose respect, does it mean you're going to stop doing your zikr and good deeds? You shouldn't, because that's not the right objective. It's the wrong objective. Number 18, 19, 20. Number 18 is circumstances to always be in your favor, that everything should help you. Every time the green light should open. It should be on green. Why is it red? I shouldn't have to stop. I'm a special person. That's the wrong objective. Enjoyment in worship. This is something a lot of people fall trap in. Okay, that's fine. We'll stop shortly anyway. We're stopping in the next within 5 minutes. But if there's something you haven't understood because of the lagging, please put the questions in. I'll just finish the last 2 points. Enjoying my worship. Some people, I've met people like this, and they said, oh, my friend, I used to feel enjoyment in my namaz. I used to stand up and feel like a peace and sukoon, and it's not there now, so I stopped praying. That's stupidity. Who said it was the purpose in the first place? Are we worshipping our desires? Are we standing to feel good? Are we reading namaz of feelings? Or are we Abdullah, or are we Abdul feelings? Are we slave of Allah, or are we slave of feelings? Slave of enjoyment? Slave of good feeling? No. So that's a wrong objective too. And lastly, some of the above things can happen, and some of them are against Shariat, like prediction of future and mind reading. However, all of them are not objective or goals. Some of them are praiseworthy and can be nice things. Some of them are condemnable and not nice things. Okay? I'll keep it up to now. I've mentioned to you what are the correct objectives: to believe correctly, to worship correctly, and live a good life. Ask me any questions if there's any questions. And if some point that you haven't understood. Shayal's question is, aren't you supposed to like worshipping, like enjoying it, or like aren't you supposed to be pleased and happy and enjoy it, that you should be worshipping? What it refers to is enjoyment in worship. Sometimes the heart will feel like worshipping. Like I said, it's a state. Yep. We are supposed to like obeying Allah, that I want to obey Allah, I want to fulfill His command, I want to observe the Salah. But when you're praying Salah, obviously there is a sukoon, there is peace in the heart. But sometimes you might not feel that. You might be really tensed. You might be really feeling like I have to struggle to go and pray. Your heart might not want to stand up at that time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But are you going to follow the feelings of your heart, which is temporal and it keeps changing? Or are you going to fulfill the command of Allah? So we fulfill the command of Allah. That time we don't listen to our heart's feelings and we don't follow that. So liking worshipping, if you are liking worshipping, it is nice. Alhamdulillah, good. Praise Allah. Thank Allah for that. Because when you thank Allah, Allah gives you more. But if you're not liking it, it doesn't mean that you quit and you give up. If somebody quits and give up, that means he had the wrong objective in mind. And you shouldn't make that liking it, feeling good, you shouldn't make it the purpose. No, that's not the purpose. It shouldn't be the purpose. The purpose is to please Allah, fulfill His command. Okay? No question, Faizan. No question, Arman. Any other question, Sharial? If no, then please type. And inshallah, thank you. Today we'll close then. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Tomorrow, bring your papers, whatever you wrote notes upon. Please bring your notes tomorrow to the class. Inshallah. Any other question, Sharial? If no, then we can, inshallah, depart from the online. No question. Okay, Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you have a nice, pleasant evening. And be in class for tomorrow for fiqh and aqidah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.